soul man. Come together with your hand. You ready?
Sure.
Welcome to the White Guy Show. I'm Whitey. This is the defeated cracker. I just hit him live. We're in a war. It's called Prelude to Review, where if somebody hasn't, one of us hasn't seen the film, and the other guy knows he'll hate it. So if I know a film he hasn't seen and he's gonna hate, I tell him about it in a prelude, and then he has to watch it and we discuss it. That's what we're about to do, and then vice versa. And it started out as a funny premise to introduce films. Now it's a war. It's a war for blood and death. And I made him watch Dune, and that hit him hard. And he's reeling back, and he threw a couple things at me, and I dodged, and I parried, and then I hit him low with Fart the movie, and he's reeling and he's bleeding, and it's Gettysburg, and it's day one. He took a beating, and then day two, and now it's Pickett's charge because I just hit him with Soul Man. Will I finally defeat my nemesis, the Cracker, and the Prelude Wars? Cracker, tell him about Soul Man.
Wow, are you out of breath after that?
Enjoying my victory.
No. This was not as bad as Fart the movie, but what the fuck is going to be worse than Fart the movie?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, if Fart the movie was the near-death blow,
This was,
I'm
yes.
up on, I crawled up to my knees, and I'm now on, one leg.
Yeah. Should we tell him about Soul Man?
Yes. Okay.
Should I tell him about Soul
Go
Man?
ahead. I gotta think about
Soul Man. See, Tom, this was very
This
late
was like 80s,
mid-late 80s.
Between 84 and 86, we'll just say.
Where people still,
after The Outsiders.
People still felt bad for black people for some reason. And then C. Thomas Howell had a success with Red Dawn. The Outsiders is a big name.
E.T.
He was high school age, now he's getting into college age.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody somewhere was like, hey, do this movie. So basically, he's trying to get into law school.
Yes, he's trying to get into Harvard.
It's going to be very expensive. And at the time he mentions $50,000. By today, it'd be like $150,000.
He's this rich boy. He's think of Zach
Rich
Morris,
white guy.
without the money. He's this preppy kid. He knows he's got money. And he's having a talk with his dad, and his dad he's talking about how he talked with his therapist, who was wonderfully played by, I think his name is Max Reich. He was Willie from the TV show Elf. Fuzzy alien.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And basically, his dad said, I was going to pay for your college tuition, but instead we're going to go to Barbados or some shit like that.
Yes.
So C. Thomas Howell has to find a way to get into college. Harvard Law School is very expensive. And he finds out that there's a scholarship for black people, and he takes these tanning pills.
Yeah.
These self-tanning pills. I mean, it's the 80s. You can just imagine fucking anything. And, of course, he exceeds the regular dosage, becomes black, but for some reason his hair turns Jerry curl. Yeah. Unless it's a wig, they never explain it.
He's got a contact lens to take black hair.
And so he becomes black. And he's, living with his buddy, and then he goes to college, and he pisses his pants because he's, not literally, but his, professor is James Earl Jones. Very scary James Earl Jones in this film. Meets Ray Don Chong, who's returning to the White Guy Show after our Commando review. Go check out that. And I plug this show a lot, don't I? I do a lot better than you.
Thanks.
He has a show, too.
It's called Something with John.
Yeah, fuck you. He meets Ray Don Chong. They have their thing, and then he's trying to stay in college while he's pretending to be black.
Plug the show on the show. Plug the... Never mind.
Anyway. C. Thomas Howell in blackface. That's the basic plot of this fucking movie.
Yeah. The idea is he's going to learn the pain and hardship that black people go through.
Fuck this movie.
Fuck this movie.
Now, don't fuck it as hard as Fart.
No.
But here's the thing.
Its heart was in the right place.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
Oh, God, no. First off, C. Thomas Howell's not likable at all. He's not a likable character. He's an asshole. The first time we meet C. Thomas Howell,
First off and foremost, for you people at home, visually, you couldn't buy for 2 seconds.
I'm going to get into that.
Anyone's going to believe he's a black guy.
I'm going to get into that. The first time we meet C. Thomas Howell, though, he had just had a one-night stand with a girl. Whatever. It happens. It doesn't really make a person unlikable, but he doesn't know her name.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. He's got this weird relationship with his friend. I'm just going to call him, friend.
The guy, he's been in a bunch of other stuff.
He runs in and they give each other their acceptance letters, and C. Thomas Howell's having, it looks like a seizure, but he's not. He's just kicking his legs in the air with, hey, I just got accepted to Harvard Law. And then we see he's in his tidy whities. We see too much of him in his tidy whities. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm done. And then we go to a party, and he's very unlikable. He's he's talking about how much, he's going to retire like 25 years old or 35 years old.
He's very greedy, very selfish.
He's smoking pot. He's very unlikable. He's very cocky. Very, very unlikable. So when you find out that he's not getting his college tuition paid by his dad, you really don't care at that point.
Right.
He's an asshole. So you think, oh, okay, I know the premise of the movie, but maybe we'll see him try to work some jobs or some odd jobs or this and that, for a little while, and then decide, oh, maybe I'll try to be black. No, all we see is him going to like the fucking bank, and he gets his credit report, and that's it. And then he's just out of nowhere. This bit was funny. Out of nowhere, his friend's jogging down the road, and then just suddenly, black C. Thomas Howell, who does not look like a black C. Thomas Howell, shows up, and he's having a conversation with friend.
Like, hey, buddy, and his friend doesn't recognize him. And that part is stupid. But what makes the scene funny is when friend finally recognizes him, turns around, he's jogging backwards, and he falls off the pier. Yeah,
that was funny.
That was the whole.
That's like the
rest
funniest.
Of the movie happened.
That's the funniest part of the whole movie, and that's like within the first 25 minutes. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the positive. I like Radon Chong here. Okay. She's a very likable character. She's a sympathetic character when you find out, we don't care about spoilers. She was
not for fucking soul.
She was going to get the grant or whatever you call it to get into college. But he ended up getting it because, he's black C. Thomas Howell. And you find out that she's a single mother. She got a young kid. He's like 5 years old. Likable, he's likable, whatever. But you get the whole single mom. She's working, in the kitchen of the college to make ends meet. So she's very likable. At least until the last half hour, she doesn't put up with C. Thomas Howell's shit. Yeah. Even though for some reason she thinks he's a black man. She doesn't put up with any of his shit. So I liked that. I like the fact that, even though he's talking, he's doing the bad jive talk, like, hey, right on, and, jive soul bro and all this stuff. She wasn't buying any of that shit. She thought, even though he was a black man, he was a douchebag, he was an asshole, and I liked that a lot. And then, of course, if they fall in love, and that's when I'm just like, fuck this shit. Any other good? I liked the scene at the end. First off, Leslie Nielsen's in this fucking movie. Leslie Nielsen is the racist landlord. Okay? He's a racist landlord. And I'll explain how he's racist later. And his daughter has been so deprived by all the racism, she wants to fuck black men, she wants to fuck, Asians and this and that. So eventually she fucks C. Thomas Howell. There's this ongoing relationship. So C. Thomas Howell, again, makes him unlikable. He's fucking this chick while he wants to, be with Radon Chong. There's this whole Flintstones, sequence where his parents show up. So he's got to hide the fact that he's black, so he wears a ski mask. But then Radon Chong shows up, so he takes off the ski mask. He's got to keep him separated from the parents. And then Leslie Nielsen's daughter, the horn dog, is in his bedroom, and she thinks he's a black man. So he's trying to keep all these parties separate. As Flintstone, you're tracking a fly. That shows how much, he enjoys Soul Man. This whole Flintstone-y gag, 90% of the time I thought it worked. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was But that's where all the comedy, this was a comedy. Comedy was thrown up in this bit, and I thought, for the shit I'd seen for an hour before to the next shit I'm going to see for the next 15 minutes, this was decent. Yeah. That's all you got to say.
We've.
Oh God, this scene was horrible. Hold on, the scene where he's in black. He's in blackface.
How do you keep getting further over there?
Because I'm fat and I lean. Okay. Now you're getting too close. Where he meets, he's having dinner with Leslie Nielsen and his wife and their little shithead son, and then the hot daughter. She's fucking gorgeous in this film. She walks around in her underwear in a lot. It's really good. It's like the best part of this movie. But this was both funny and horrible and offensive at the same time.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm talking about? The dinner scene. And C. Thomas Howell is talking to the mom, and then he goes and talks to the son, and then he goes and talks to Leslie Nielsen, and they're all interpreting what he's saying. He's saying nice things, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
He looks to the mom, he's having the conversation. Her vision, and it's great because it's C. Thomas Howell actually acting this out, her vision was C. Thomas Howell saying, I'm black man. He rips off his shirt. He says, I'm going to take you and blah, 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 rape her or whatever. Looks to the son, talks to the son looks at him. And it's fantastic because it's C. Thomas Howell standing on like the kitchen or the dining room table dressed as Prince. And he's playing the electric guitar and he's sticking his tongue out like Prince would do and everything like that. And then when he talks to Leslie Nielsen, I felt bad for laughing at this part.
Okay.
He's talking to Leslie Nielsen. And he's talking about how he loves his daughter or likes the relationship with his daughter. And like I said, Leslie Nielsen is severely racist. This is bad. I legitimately felt bad liking this part.
Right.
He looks at C. Thomas Howell, and C. Thomas Howell is sitting next to his daughter. Like we're sitting next to him. And in his vision, daughter's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's just sitting there rubbing his belly. C. Thomas Howell is sitting there in full pimp outfit with his feet on the table, eating watermelon.
Oh.
And he's calling the daughter bitch and this and that. And he's literally eating the water. I'm just like, I feel bad for laughing at this, but this, I don't care.
Yeah.
If you've seen this show, there's racist stuff talking about. This was funny. For me, a fat bearded white dude in, Chicagoland, we'll say.
Yeah, we're the greatest Chicagoland. Don't tell him.
No one fucking knows this anyway. I said Chicagoland area. Illinois is a big state. Kind of, maybe.
Anyway.
This was funny. I laughed. Okay. I liked it.
His
rest of this
address is, 123 Michigan Lane.
That's Jewish.
I know.
The rest of this film, though, was shite, as you like to say.
It's shite. It's shite from the first
the scene,
sun up to sundown.
The scene where him and friend, like I said, I'm just calling his buddy friend.
Yeah.
Where they go to the.
I think his name was Buddy.
Fucking cares. Oh. When they go to when they're in gym class, and they all want C. Thomas Howell to be on their team because he's black. And then, of course, C. Thomas Howell.
Right here.
C. Thomas Howell can't play basketball, so he's missing the jump shots, he's missing the slam dunks. He dribbles and the ball hits him in the fucking nuts.
Fucking insulting.
To the song Soul Man. Everybody's heard Soul Man. You've seen Blues Brothers. You know what fucking Soul Man is. That was bad. Oh my god. There's so much of this movie that was boring.
Yeah.
Unfunny. And let's talk about C. Thomas Howell right now. No, we're going to, because like I said, we mentioned how he's unlikable. His acting sucks here. He is a horrible, horrible actor here. And if you've seen The Outsiders, he does a fantastic job being the likable main characters. Pony Boy Curtis is the main character of The Outsiders. He's great being sympathetic, so he can't fucking act. He's great being, dramatic. He's great being, strong and powerful.
Dude, Robert Red Dawn, man. He was the ball.
Fuck Red Dawn. He's good at being strong when his character has.
You're watching the sequel to Fuck the Movie.
Fuck you. I don't care. We're talking about C. Thomas Howell. He's great. Perfect. Has everything in The Outsiders.
But,
and then he does Soul Man, and he's acting out of his asshole, and it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And then now we're going to talk about how he looks in blackface. First off, when he takes these pills that make him black, whatever, he doesn't look like a black man, okay? He looks like...
Because...
He's not... He looks like, he's... You ever see Short Circuit?
Many years ago.
Okay. We mentioned it. One of the characters in Super Mario Brothers, it plays an Indian, Red Dot, not Uwu. Indian,
Dots, not feathers.
whatever. And he's in brown face, however you want to say it. He's in brown face. When I was younger, I believed that.
Me too.
Okay, I thought that makeup job, as racist as it was in Short Circuit, was done well.
Like he's got a certain jaw type and everything, like facial structure.
That's fine.
Where it's
Thomas
more believable.
Howell.
Looks like a white guy.
I mentioned this. Mrs. Cracker was in the background watching this. She knows about Soul Man, and I'm yelling at the computer because I'm going to stream this. I'm not going to fucking pay for it. And I was talking about how first it looks not like black shoe polish, but it looks like a cheaper budget of the brown face from Short Circuit.
Yes.
Now, C. Thomas Howell.
It's
going to sound racist, but we're talking about race here. C. Thomas Howell doesn't have the stereotypical like bigger nose that black people says. He doesn't have the
lips,
the jawline, whatever, the round cheeks. He looks like a white dude,
and
it's very unconvincing. And the thing is, with this, when he's his skin's all colored, the color tone changes. Sometimes he looks short-circuity. Sometimes he looks more white. Sometimes he looks more dark. They can't keep consistent with
and
his.
If that's the joke, then that's good. But
the thing is, though,
if he was putting on skin cream or something and doing it that way, and he keeps getting the quantity wrong, so he's lighter, darker. Funny, but he's taking pills,
right.
So it doesn't make any fucking sense.
And the thing is, they don't bring it up.
Yes.
Friend could have been like, he'd be like, Whitey, you look, less brown today.
You're looking like from another part of the continent.
Pop a pill, and then he looks like...
The next day he's darker, dude.
Yeah, he's like Bill Duke.
Yes. Darkness turned to Murphy.
That would have worked.
Yes.
But they don't mention...
That would have been fucking...
And
that's the movie.
They don't mention the inconsistency of his darker skin.
It's got the consistency of poop.
Poop is darker than his skin color in this film.
So,
and then here's the fucking thing.
Go. You got it. You got it. Bring it home.
You got more. You got this. These two assholes. They pop up every fucking 25 minutes. They're always making these racial jokes, and of course they look at C. Thomas Howell and they're like, "No offense, right?" Well, eventually they find out that C. Thomas Howell's a white guy. He stops taking the pills. Now, for C. Thomas Howell, he gets to stay in college, but he's got to work as a busboy. And he's trying to get a relationship with Ray Don Chong.
Do you see it?
He's trying to get a relationship with Ray Don Chong. And he's like, well, could you ever have a biracial relationship? Or multiracial relationship? Whatever.
She's the product of a biracial relationship.
She is. Her
dad
is Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong is not a black man. So she's a
I don't know what Tommy Chong is. I think he's just a white guy.
I think he's part Asian and Mexican. I don't fucking know. But
the
point is, if you know who Ray Don Chong is, she's a biracial, multiracial person. Okay. C. Thomas Howell, now all white face, says, "Could you have a biracial relationship?" And she looks at him. I liked her in this film until she says this. I never found a white person interesting. So I hate the bitch from this movie. There's only 10 minutes left. Whatever. So I hate her there. So in comes racist jokesters. She's still there. They make another racist fucking joke. And instead of, no offense, ha, because he's white, he lays them both out. She falls in love. The end. But, no,
movie. No.
Like I said, I liked her. Even when she ends up falling in love with him, I don't fucking know. Yeah, so it's acceptable. I like her. I like her when she finds out he's white because of what he did. And she hates him. I still like her. But in the end, when she says, I can't have a biracial relationship, or no, I don't find a white person interesting, that's when I'm just like, that takes everything away from the point of this film.
It just destroyed everything.
Because here's how it is. C. Thomas Howell is, of course, retarded to black culture. Yeah. Like, we know black culture anyways. But he's retarded to black culture.
But at least we know that we don't know.
Right. He's walking around. He wears the fucking Cosby sweaters, okay? Bill Cosby sweaters. And he walks around and he says this is like 1986 or whatever. He says, Bill Cosby's popular, black people don't have it hard. Everyone wants to be black, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, he gets to the scene where he's trailed by a cop and he, gets pulled over, gets thrown in jail, and he's beaten up by the racist, soccer hooligans or whatever that's in jail. And, that's why he's... that's how I picture it. They were Irish or something. And then, of course, that's why, he's late to put in his paper to give to James Earl Jones, who's a major scary asshole in this film. But the thing is, James Earl Jones is like, he walked, C. Thomas Howell walks in with all these bruises and, lumps and everything from being beat up by the hooligans. And James Earl Jones is like, I said no exceptions. You can't, you're not turning in your paper. And then,
said no, professor, ever.
And, he's saying this to a man who has band-aids and, swollen jaw. And, what a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And then, eventually he's just like, gets this, light bulb. Bing! Like we get like there. And he's just like, you know what? You can have it over the, the Thanksgiving weekend. I expect it on Monday. So, yeah. But he's being an asshole yet sympathetic, but you don't buy it because he's a piece of shit. I'm talking about James Earl Jones. I like James Earl Jones. 9 times out of 10.
Everyone likes James Earl Jones.
You love James Earl Jones in Star Wars. You love Star Wars, and he was Darth Vader.
Hitler actually survived the war and lived until 2 weeks ago. It was a huge James Earl Jones.
But regardless, he was somewhat likable in Best of the Best, but he had his asshole moment. This was Best of the Best James Earl Jones cranked up to 11, and then, electrified even more. He was such an intimidating...
Just make it go to 10 and have 10 below. But it goes up to 11.
Exactly. James Earl Jones was very intimidating. So if that was his job, bravo.
Good job.
But the thing is, you were an asshole. You were unsympathetic. I mean, we know the point of this film is blackface. C. Thomas Howell is going to see how the fucking black man has to deal with, 1986. And, of course, it's gotten worse since then. But the thing is, though, James Earl Jones is not sympathetic until that one scene where he says, I'll give it till Monday. Enjoy your fucking, Thanksgiving, TV dinner or whatever. And he's just such an asshole. Through this entire film, he's not likable. There's no likable characters in this film other than Radon Chong until the very fucking end. Did not hate this movie. I chuckled enough to give it, let's see here. If I rated it on Facebook, I give it 2 stars out of 5. So it's still failing, but it's still not Fart the movie.
Yeah.
It's not the worst film you've made me watch, even if we take out Fart the movie, but still. This was not fun to watch.
Dune. Really?
Oh, Dune blew this away.
Yeah. This
was not funny, unlikable characters, bad blackface, unbelievable blackface.
But may I?
Go ahead.
Here's what and this goes right back to Bebe's Kids. This is it. We just watched Bebe's Kids. Go watch the video on Bebe's Kids. This is insulting, but again, to whom?
Right.
Because it's like, listen here, white people. You think this, white people, and now we're going to put you in black people's shoes. And first off, white people aren't that simplistic. We aren't that stupid that we have that simplistic idea of what black. And then 2, black people aren't dumb enough to think that this was a black guy.
No.
So it's insulting to everybody involved.
But see, that's the thing. I mentioned it before and other things. When you're following a character through this was like hour and 40 minutes, and you're following this one character, and he's already unlikable. Yes, we know he's going to have a change of heart.
At the end of the film, when you were saying that, you set him up, I don't disagree with that, you set him up as an asshole, and a racist and selfish, so he'll learn.
But the thing is, he's so unlikable before he even turns
There's
black.
There's a balance to that where you still kind of have to like him enough to
follow him. I will say this.
Until that point.
Here's the attempt at comedy at this movie, which I liked up until the very end of the scene. Okay. C. Thomas Howell is told by his dad he can't get the funding. Yeah. He's not going to pay for it. So, the next time you see C. Thomas Howell, I like this part. C. Thomas Howell is going through how much college is going to cost. and you
And
see
he's
the
hanging
camera.
up.
You see the camera go through
Through
a
a
noose.
Yeah.
Now that's funny because I think he really is going to try to kill himself or
Right.
something like that, and then friend shows up and saves him. That's
Yeah.
funny because it's believable. This is the only time C. Thomas Howell can act in this film because you can tell he's depressed and he's shocked and he's feeling horrible.
Yeah.
And he's saying, colleges, whatever fucking amount college costs, this and this and this and this, and he's looking at, a noose. And Friend is already in the room with him, and then Friend hands him like a Cabbage Patch
Yeah, he's
doll.
like, don't you think you're taking this too far? And Thomas Hall's like, no, I don't. Give it to me. And it's a Cabbage Patch
And he
doll.
hangs a Cabbage Patch doll. Now, I don't know what the joke was.
It was supposed to be you think he's going to hang himself, but he's hanging a cat.
But that's the thing. The attempt at comedy, it doesn't work there. This could have been a great scene if he hung himself and Friend walks in and saves him and be like, I got an idea. I found tanning pills and we can do this. As stupid as that fucking sounds, it could have worked in this film.
Yes.
But he hangs a Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah.
So you go from a possibly funny scene to something you just put in your pants. It filled up this right here. Okay. Yeah. Fuck that scene. Fuck this movie. Fuck C. Thomas Howell. Right on, Sean. You're hot. You're not likable in this.
C. Thomas Howell, because how the fuck navigate this premise?
I'm mad at C. Thomas Howell because
it's not possible.
I'm mad at C. Thomas.
He was set up to fail.
I'm mad at C. Thomas Howell.
He was the balls in Red Dawn. He was the balls, America.
And you know what?
Up here.
The balls from Red Dawn, which you like and I fucking hated, and the balls that were huge in The Outsiders. Okay. Because that motherfucker could act in The Outsiders. I was bored to death in Red Dawn, so I don't give a shit. Those balls deflated, went inside, and disappeared in Soul Man. The motherfucker could not act to save his life in this. I don't care.
How is he supposed to make this work? It's such a stupid
He shows in You Like Red Dawn, so whatever. Yes. And he shows it in The Outsiders. He can act.
That makes sense.
He can act, though.
That makes sense.
A great actor, what do they say? A great actor can turn shit into gold.
A great actor wouldn't accept this project.
Then what the fuck, C. Thomas Howell? That's another reason we should hate you.
This was like...
Did you know that this, I Wikipedia this was actually a hit in the box office?
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Hippies.
No, this wasn't a hit. This wasn't
dumb. Hippie motherfuckers. No, that's a valid point because earlier, you know what straw man fallacy is?
No.
It's a form of illogic where you state that someone holds a position or beliefs whatever that they don't hold.
Okay.
So, and everybody in politics does this all the time. I'm not going to get into too much depth of it, but it's fucking tired that this movie, again, it says white people think this, and this. And it's like, we aren't vegetables. We have more complex thoughts than this. And the other thing, too, it's like with the whole thing with the baby and the pimp, like, why is everybody upset and have this image of black people in crime? Because they commit crime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not universally, but it's like right now black people are 13% of the population. They commit over 50% of the crime. Such a small amount of people commits that much crime. That's why. So when you're like, listen, white people, you think this and it's not true. It's like, no, we think it because it's true. Because it's statistically, now it doesn't apply to all black people, but it's to you're just dumb, and that's why you think this. No, we think this because of all the murders.
I thought of this.
Hold on, let me. So
go ahead.
You're taking people and so bringing them down, and then you're making people who. I can understand Radon Chong and James Earl Jones. I can understand. I have sympathy for black kids that go to college and have to deal with shit like this. Mm-hmm. But when you bring white people down to some stupid level like this, and you don't acknowledge, hey, look, these stereotypes exist. All stereotypes exist because it's a common experience that people have. Why do people associate black people with crime? Because a lot of black people commit a lot of crime. We all have that experience. That's why we have all that stereotype. So if the film was, we're going to acknowledge that, but you shouldn't judge all black people, and you shouldn't oppress black people and hold black people down or any other race from any other dynamic. Okay, but when it's like white people, you're just stupid and you're wrong, and you're not going to do this anymore. Fuck you. Okay, and then it's insulting to black people because there's no fucking way any black person is going to go, yeah, that's a black guy. It never happened. And you were pointing this out, like like everybody's like race is only skin deep. No, it's not. There's actually a lot of differences. You mentioned like the facial structure, the lips, the noses, and I mentioned this in the prelude. There are 3 different skulls in human species: Afrozoid, Caucasoid, Mongoloid. Look it the fuck up. You can change skin tone, but you can't change skull structure. Mm-hmm. You can't do it. And black people have longer fingers, longer extremities. There's height differences. All this stuff.
Yeah, because they mentioned he fucking when he's banging Leslie Nielsen's daughter, and right. She says, "Oh wow, some of these stereotypes are true," but the penis one isn't. So because white people now have small penises compared to black people, and then he gets all offended, blah blah blah. Right. And we're talking about Leslie Nielsen's daughter. I was bringing up, she is such a. I don't care how hot she is in this film, she's very unlikable because she's just banging all these different races to get back at Daddy. After she finds out that C. Thomas Howell is a white guy, she obviously doesn't want anything to do with him. Right. You think, oh, okay, she doesn't want anything to do with him because she's pissed off. No, when C. Thomas Howell was put on trial in the college because of what he did, because of what he did, she shows up in the crowd with a Native American, like literally, the long hair and the feathers and everything, like like earrings or feathers in the hair. I don't fucking know, but I'm just like, wow,
it's insulting to everybody.
Wow, and then she makes some type of joke towards him, right. And he just looks at her like he's all pissed off, like he's gonna fucking beat her or something afterwards, and I'm just like. They're trying to go for the offensive. I bring this up with Seth MacFarlane.
No, they're not. This is what I was earlier.
They're bringing up
liberals actually think there's a facet of liberalism that actually thinks this film is an accurate representation of reality.
But
what's happening.
What I took here is this is like Seth MacFarlane, okay? Current Seth MacFarlane, not back like first season of Family Guy where he was fucking funny. I'm talking about current Seth MacFarlane where he goes for the offensive, like with the joke of her being with the Native American, going for the offensive, and there's no funny punchline. It's there just to be offensive. It doesn't work. It's shoehorned in. It's shoehorned in to kill 25 seconds, and it's garbage.
Liberalism is a psychosis. And there are liberals who think this is it. This is what reality is like. Mm-hmm. And everyone should be mad at this movie. And like you said, that begs the question too: were people did some Hollywood liberals who actually think this is the way the world works, and then he's going to do this for years of law school? No one's going to look into his bag. It's such an unbelievable.
Yeah, because they said like 4 years or something. 4 years
of law school. You're looking at several years of law school, depending on what you're going to pick up on your workload, and you're looking at. But nobody's going to look into his background and know that he's not a black guy.
Right, because there's
visually they're going to believe this. And all
they do that once. They do that once when he's pulled over by the cop, and the cop was like, license and registration, and unless you've lost it, and he pulls out his license, and it's the white C. Thomas Howell on the license, and then of course, I lost my license, and he gets arrested and mistreated. That's the only time they go in his background to mention the fact, with these new people that he's a white guy.
And then they let him stay in the university and all this other shit. It's just
he can stay in the university as long as there's like a grant in Ray Don Chong's name, and then he's got to work as a busboy. That wouldn't fucking happen. He'd be kicked out.
As long as you get down on your hands and knees and beg forgiveness to every people of color, then we'll forgive you. As long as you're a good white boy who falls in line. Fuck yourself.
I didn't go to college.
I did.
You did. If you would have done something this offensive, would
they
have kept you there?
No.
That's my point.
This
as much of an asshole. And the thing is, he was talking to James Earl Jones, and James Earl Jones was making all these demands. James Earl Jones is such an unlikable asshole in this film. No way in fucking hell would he allow C. Thomas Howell to stay.
And it's not his call. He's a professor.
Right.
He doesn't deter. This is a legal issue. This is not the university wouldn't even get to decide this. The whoever's jurisdiction this falls into the court would hear this. Harvard's a private. It's not a. But so you would have a court case, and the judge would decide this. It would be handled in a civil lawsuit. But it's like we go back to the whole premise is set up because his father won't fund his. Okay, the fuck. So there's a way to handle this material in a lighthearted enough way where it's like it's cheeky and we know it's stupid, but we're just trying to make a point. Go with it.
Yeah, that's fine. I could have.
You can pull up. They didn't do that here.
No.
That this is liberal psychosis. We think the world actually works this way. So they think that somebody who's going to Harvard Law School, his father's just going to back out at the last minute on his funding. That has happened never and never will. Because people who they get to that point and their children get to that point, they're not there because they're aloof white people and they just inherited everything. They're there because they're intelligent people. And that's why white people have more in their bills. Because we're smart. That's why. It's not just you don't just luck your way into Harvard. You work really fucking hard and you're really fucking smart. That's why everybody's there, independent of color creed. Okay? You get into community college because of something stupid like this, not Harvard. So I just, the whole premise is just so absurd that while you're trying, again, I kind of appreciate what's trying to be done. Let's put the show on the other foot.
Yeah,
and
that's
so people
fine.
can, I appreciated that. It's how they went about doing it was so fucking insulting that just fuck this movie in the ass. Have the whole prison block of black guys fucking yes.
Okay, we have this new going concept,
of racism.
Of racism. That's been an ongoing concept. We have this new going concept on Prelude to a Review. So far,
does this knock off?
As of now, because you just uploaded Fart the Movie. Fart the Movie is still number one. This does not knock it off. But this was tough. Like I said, I don't give it a positive review, even though I chuckled at the Fred Flintstone. Got to be at three places at one scene.
More chuckles than fart.
Oh god, there was no chuckles in fart. This was a fart, but it wasn't Fart the Movie.
Yeah.
So don't fucking watch this. If you're curious, go right ahead. You're gonna fucking shoot yourself and have no one to blame but yourself to watch this film, or blame him because he made me watch it. But overall. C. Thomas Howell, what the fuck?
Winning the war on Prelude. Yeah. This was another devastating victory. I'm kicking your ass at this right now. Okay. But it's on. The game is afoot.
Okay.
This was the first day of
winning the war. You got some good victories with this, Fart the Movie, and Doom. I still have Star Wars Holiday Special. I still have Bebe's Kids.
Yeah.
And I still have Howard the Duck.
Oh, that one was not.
But I think you've edged into the lead.
Well, I am. I had the north of the south.
You're the one that's going to get fucked in the ass when I had to do my research.
Yeah.
We've been talking for almost 40 minutes of Soul Man, which only should have been talked about for 5 minutes. So
bring politics into the
yeah, that's you. You brought up this whole fucking idea. So, anyways, we're gonna end this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, subscribe, tell people, tell C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah. Could you let him know? Thanks.
Yeah, let him know. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Seriously, you were in the Outsiders. You were great in the Outsiders.
I forgive you. You were the balls in Red Dawn. He just doesn't like you.
C. Thomas Howell, go fuck yourself. Anyways, good journey. Fuck.